Hi, I wanted to give you a few tips and suggestions for your very first photography assignment, which is a color and composition assignment. So for this assignment, you can shoot in fully automatic mode. It can be P program mode, or you can shoot in any of the other automatic modes. Um, every other assignment except for this one is going to be on a manual mode. So this one, though, we're just getting started. We're just looking at some basic compositional technique. I want you to really focus your attention on that instead of sort of worrying about trying to come up with manual metering just yet. So again, you can shoot in totally automatic program mode for this first assignment. If you are, however, already familiar with manual exposure and manual shooting, you are welcome to shoot in M mode, AV, or TV mode, whatever mode you choose for that. Just make, again, sure that you're really comfortable with manual shooting if you do choose to shoot in that mode. So I want you to try a variety of different points of view. Move close up, move far away. Try shooting from different camera positions, perspectives, and camera angles. We showed a lot of examples in the previous lectures from this week that show some techniques for shooting with unusual points of view. I really want you to sort of avoid shooting with a standard normal human height, right? Try crouching down, try getting higher up. Try shooting with unusual points of view. It's the easiest way to make a photograph more visually engaging if you're not shooting from just a standard human height with a centered frame, right? We're so used to seeing those very obvious photographs. The easiest way to make a familiar subject more interesting is to shoot with a different point of view. Consider composition and framing. Right? This is also a composition assignment. So I want you to be very mindful of line, form, contrast, pattern, color relationships, etc. All those things we went over in the composition lecture. Think about what areas you want to include in your photograph and also what areas you want to exclude. Be very careful looking at the background of your scene. The background is just as important as the foreground. Sometimes when shooting, we can kind of forget to look at the background and kind of focus our attention on the foreground. But when you're looking at a photograph, which is rendered two-dimensionally, all parts become important visually. So this is also really about training yourself to look at all elements in the composition, including the background. Avoid centered compositions. So it's usually best not to center your main subject, but instead to balance your subject in the frame, paying careful attention to your subject and their relationship to other elements in the foreground and the background. So again, centered compositions have a place, but they're sort of the most obvious place people start with when arranging a subject in a frame. And, really try to work carefully in terms of creating visual balance in your photographs, and that usually means not centering your main subject. For the assignments in this class in general, I want you to not center your subjects, but really try to use some of the other compositional tools we went over in the lecture. So there's a lot of different compositional techniques you could try if you're stuck. Crisp focus. Make sure your images are focused, that your lens is focused carefully on your subject. You don't have to use manual focus if you're having a hard time focusing manually. It's fine to use autofocus for this course. If you are using autofocus, there's the lock your focus technique we talked about in this previous lecture. So go ahead and look that over if you're having trouble, with locking your focus and making sure your foreground subject is in focus. That's usually a preferred method instead of changing your focus points. Use a variety of different backgrounds and lighting situations. Find locations, backgrounds, and lightings that are interesting, that you like. Try both indoor and outdoor settings. So experiment. Above all, challenge yourself to use unconventional subjects, unconventional point of view, and compositions. Carefully consider all elements in your frame, including information in the background of each frame. This assignment is really focused on creative composition and framing, and again, not centering your main subject. So I very much look forward to seeing your work. If you have any questions, you are always able to contact me. Just email me, and I usually get back pretty quickly. So I look forward to seeing your images.